Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Air Doctor. We came to bring you that boom best, and I said the boom breath. That boom bap breakfast, and yes, it's us, not just me. We gotta introduce the first lady. She goes by the name of Burn It Down, Kim Brown.
You gotta bless us, Air Doctor. What's the sample? What was that? What was the original song that Passing Me By the Far Side? Beautifully sampled, beautifully.
Go ahead and tell us.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking a legit question, because clearly you have the song right there. Who was that?
Well, that was a remix of Passing Me By. So that was a remix done by somebody. But chat room, I'm sure y'all know. Y'all the smartest ones out here. We just come to talk. Anyway, welcome. We are here another day. It is the 11th February already, Black History Month. And
hey,
it's a lot of history starting and being made right about now.
Yeah, if we're not careful, we gonna be history. We better tighten up. You see them crackers roll up on black folks in Cincinnati, and they was like, bet. Black folks was like, Nazis, come on over.
I seen a black dude riding in the car with his gun playing Fight the Power, like, I wish y'all would fuck with me. I'm gonna shoot each and every one of y'all. I was like, word. Get it.
Listen, man. that's what the whites is that's what they angling for. They want to fight.
The Anglo-Saxons. Quick wit here, y'all. Keep up with me.
The Anglo-Saxons. That's them. Yep, you got it.
Word. It took us a little bit to get together this morning, but we got it. I moved my stuff around. I've added a record player, a little vinyl over here too.
Hey,
so I'm able to spin some classic records where you're gonna hear this sound. I don't know if y'all used to hearing this sound right here.
The hiss. Give me that hiss.
That right there.
A little crack.
Yes. They ain't ready for it. You
gotta get the lint off the needle. Make sure the needle ain't got no lint on it.
Exactly. Put a penny on top of it to make sure it way down on the head of the needle.
I have a millennial friend who's early 30s, and they got a record player. And what did they have? They had some Bob Marley record that hadn't been opened, and they was just handling it all willy. I said, you have to handle that. You don't want fingerprints on it, and be careful how you lay that needle on the groove, because you cannot scratch the record. We used to get whippings for scratching the record, shorty.
Oh man, I didn't even get in trouble. You know what I got in trouble for is not putting the 8-track tapes back. Damn, that's old.
That boy ain't got no discipline. Look how he done left all these 8 tracks all over the place.
You know what I mean? Damn, man. So were you here when we talked about Irv Gotti?
Last week. Yeah. Was there more information that came out about that?
It was just I was just thinking about how crazy it was, man. All the different production and stuff he's done, bringing out DMX, Jay-Z, all these different people. I was just thinking that because I was thinking about Classical Sundays and how they took down Classical Breakdown. I about to mix another 2 shows. Classical Breakdown, they took down a LaBelle, so we're gonna go ahead and get that put on Patreon for y'all. So
Robbery.
I can check that out because that was nice.
Shorty. Night birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna put that on
Patreon. Hold on, Naka. Let's can we
Talk
You know what I'm
about it.
saying?
Talk
Let's take a
about it.
second. Let's take a second. Let's take a moment.
I'm here. I ain't going nowhere for till 10.
Me and my bruv chat remixes. Did you see how me and my bruv came through with the LaBelle, with the Patty, came through with some classical shit that I won't say none of y'all, but some of y'all have maybe never heard before. That LaBelle and that LaBelle slap. My bruv, he gave me the confidence and look at you. You came away with a nice little playlist, didn't you, Ear Doctor?
I do. I'm definitely gonna play that at some aunties events at they Sunday brunches and stuff.
Oh man, they're gonna
Yeah.
love that
Oh,
because
yeah.
again, like LaBelle, aside from Lady Marmalade, like so radio when we were young was very informative and instructive about black music to me of the previous generation and decade, right? 'Cause I used to listen to the Quiet Storm all the time. That's how I got up on all my Teddy Pendergrass, all my loofahs, all that. But LaBelle wasn't in the recurrent list as it were, right? Like I didn't hear old LaBelle being played on the radio, on the urban AC, on the grown folks. I mean, it's just but that it just shows to me like how much of our music can be lost. You know what I'm saying? The music can be lost because our institutions don't value it. So
Yeah. You know who played a lot of Luther?
who?
Come out, Kate Franklin.
If only for one night.
Wow, so
Yeah.
impressed you only have 2 kids out here by the same woman.
And
Applause. Applause. Well done. Well
Big up to the pullouters.
Yo, I hate that you say that so bad. I hate that you say that.
Yo, some guy was talking about he had like 23 siblings. I was like, this dad's game was weak.
Terrible.
Like, he caught a cramp every time he was up in that. He's like, I can't move. Oh, snap. 23 kids.
That could have been Kamal, Shorty. That could have been Camus. Camus could have had a whole tribe of children.
If I could sing, oof, we've been on.
I know.
I've been on stage. I've been in the wood, like
K the Barge. I'm telling you.
I'm saying, pointing out. If I could sing.
All right, so the whole gang is here now. I'm sure it's a whole bunch of Super Bowl talk and this, that, and the third. But before we get there real quick, me and Kim was talking about Classical Breakdown. We also are doing this Thursday. So Erica Badu. Yeah, so that should be fun.
Used to walk around Brooklyn with like a sprinkle, like one of those, like, you know, those little sprinkle things. Carrying it around kind of thing with a head wrap.
It's extra for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, it paid off, I guess. I mean, she the one also selling vagina juice, right? I mean,
vagina essence. Hey, well, you could come down here to my homegirl Tassili's and get a Panani wrap. They are some of the greatest. Yeah,
but it's not dipped in vagina juice. It's just a name. She's claiming.
Yeah.
She's literally claiming that she's.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, in a bottle.
Wait, is it a fragrance? Is it an elixir? Like, what is it? Is it a tonic?
God, somebody in the chat. You heard this before, right? Doc, I'm not making this up.
It's incense.
Incense? Okay.
Yeah.
But see, I'm getting her confused with Gwyneth Paltrow because for some reason
she did it too. I think. Yeah, I think she did it too.
The ones that
black women not to be outdone.
I wonder who did it first.
Who did it first?
Regardless, Erica, she got a little something to stand on.
Yeah.
True.
With her, all kinds of things.
Something to sit on too, boy. But so the football game. Oh, the Super Bowl. Woo, man.
Now you watch the football game?
Of course I did. I put on a lavish spread. Me and my man Hiram, who was in town.
Whoa.
He
a Philly head, so I know he was happy, right? No, he Connecticut. I keep trying to put him in Philly.
He's a Giants fan, apparently.
Oh, God.
I don't know if
I'm supposed to be exposing that. He's a Giants fan and he hates Philly.
My condolences.
Football team.
To Giants.
So, I went all out. You know what I'm saying? Baked goods.
What?
Pretzels, saltines, 12 different dishes. You know what I'm saying? And dips. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
Cooked or you picked that up at Kroger?
Some of it I cooked. Some of it I picked up at Kroger. Some of it like
cooked.
fondue dipped.
God,
we had a whole spread. You know what I'm saying? It was just me and my man Hiram. You know what I'm saying?
Where was the kids? Where was the family?
Maya was getting her hair done. Agat was running the streets. Caleb watched a little with us.
Okay, so fellas.
Yeah, it was fellas. You know what I'm saying? We had a great time. Great time.
Wonderful. That's beautiful.
Well, I mean, the best part was the halftime show, as we all can say that, I believe.
I mean, I'd say the best part was Patrick Mahomes getting sacked 6 times, but you know, we can argue. We can argue.
Yeah,
just for a moment, can we discuss y'all? I mean, I've been watching Kansas City a long time, this iteration of this Chiefs team, and I ain't never seen them suck that like that, dog. And I said great, because I did not want to see the Chiefs win and watch Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift live and on the feet. I'm like, thank God that didn't happen.
I felt the same way, even though, of course, I don't really watch the game. But I was rooting for Philadelphia. Immediately, my instincts was to hate Kansas City. And I proved correct. I was like, come on, Philly. You know what I'm saying? Philly pulled it out. It was great. So, you know.
I stopped watching the game after halftime, actually.
A lot of people did, actually. They say it wasn't a good game. I said, I disagree. You know, it was a dominant performance on behalf of the Eagles. And I said, win or lose, they're going to tear Philly up tonight. If they win, they're going to tear it up. If they lose, they're going to tear it up.
Your man Kendrick's last song was "Turn the TV Off." Game over in the stands. I mean,
let's talk about that. Yeah, people seem to suggest that this was some real political shots. Like I saw nothing. If there are these undercurrents of politics, it all went over my head. I was like, all I saw was some red, black, and green. I saw your man. What's your man? Samuel, dressed like Uncle Sam with a big smile on his face and a top hat. All those visuals were the ones that got me. I saw none of the whole. Somebody, I think someone was doing analysis around including a dead pres beat and you know the country being built on our backs. I was just like, I didn't catch any of that.
It was a lot. It was a lot. He really took his time and put this together. Because I was like, I didn't like all the songs he chose at first. I was like, damn, why didn't he do King Kunta?
Exactly, and that was the other thing.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
Of course, I'm not, I'm not no deep fan. I want to hear the hits. It's the halftime show. Yeah. I don't want your promotional for your new album stuff. I want the hit, B. If I gotta sit there for an hour and I'm such a big game enthusiast, I'm saying that. Excuse me, you all right? I'm such a big.
I'm in my throat. Sorry.
Okay. That if the game has to be delayed for that long, I want the hits, the things that I know. You know what I'm saying?
And see, that was part of Samuel L. Jackson and him coming out explaining what was going on. He was like, "We gonna give them what they expect, and then we gonna give them some other stuff they don't expect." Now he was narrating throughout the songs, so it was like a whole play. I mean, you had the PlayStation video game control on the field where you had Drake's exes, SZA and Serena doing the Crip Walk. So you had that going. You had
SZA too.
Yeah, SZA. He dated SZA. Yeah. So then you had the Palestine Sudan guy with the flag come out there.
That wasn't on purpose. That dude, he interrupted.
How do you know that though? How do you know that? How did he get in there on that at that time? You gotta think.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was
Is that why they tackled him? Because it was part of the show.
Yeah.
Security was part of the show when security ran out.
He can't look like he did it himself, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta think ahead. This dude.
My bad.
This dude be playing chess instead of checkers, as they would say. You know what I'm saying? You know, the whole built on blacks, the flag separated and split in half. It was a lot. It was a lot. I give him artistically, he came with it as in the playlist. And your thoughts, Kim?
And that's cool. Like I thought the performance was cool. All the little symbolism, that's cool. If you were a Kendrick fan, it was absolutely a performance for you. If you were not all that familiar with Kendrick Lamar's catalog, you was probably like myself, a little lost in the sauce. Cause I'm like, I don't know any of these songs.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Sam Jackson, Serena, whatever. To me, that's more appropriate for like an award show performance. It was not giving me Super Bowl halftime level caliber performance, right? And I was even thinking about like past Super Bowls of performances that I didn't really care for or artists I didn't care for. And I thought about Katy Perry. Like I'm not a Katy Perry fan. I know a couple of her songs because they were ginormous pop hits, but I'm like, but she came out there riding a dinosaur, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like she at least gave spectacle. I feel like she knew that she wasn't, necessarily worthy of a halftime performance. So she was like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna come out here on some, outlandish production, And I'm like, and as a rap fan, and I'm like, dog, if we're gonna let a rapper just stand there and rap, then Red and Meth need to be headlining the halftime show next year. Wu-Tang needs to be headlining the halftime show next year. And I thought about my favorite rappers. I'm like, what if this dude can stand there and rap? Then how come my favorite rappers can't be on the halftime show?
Yeah.
They didn't have the monster hit he did.
The A minor chain. I mean, and then the whole setup, like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. They might sue me. And then he's like, fuck it. And then comes, and then he just looks straight at the camera like, say Drake. I was like,
that part I did. I did appreciate that.
Oh my God. I was like, this dude is an animal. He is the pettiest of the petty. A minor chain, and the whole crowd saying A minor. I was like,
oh no, it's the song of the decade right now.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, I thought that this was good. Yeah.
I was like, he did.
That was the only part I got. That was the only part. The whole other thing, I was just like,
was
what is this
part.
Patriotic bullshit going on?
Yeah, that was.
Can I say one thing? One thing? Hiram is lying in the chat about how basically he got no spread and all that stuff. So just to set the record straight, I got pictures. Basically, it was like a Thanksgiving dinner for that.
Had cheese whiz and some crackers.
Everything was out.
Yeah, the Wingstop combo meal.
Everything was out.
Had a Happy Meal from McDonald's talking about celebrity.
It was a spread, man. Shit was like practically catered for him. How dare he?
Well, all 2.5 of y'all. That was it, right? You
had
okay.
What y'all need to spread?
And he left at halftime.
Oh, so you and Hiram had dinner together.
Oh.
Yeah. We was on the couch together,
Wow.
Oh. Comfortable. That's nice.
Cozy. Yeah. It was cozy.
Yeah. With a spread, though. With a spread.
Wingstop combo.
Oh, with a spread.
Pause.
Ah.
I was like, give me the link. I need to jump on and defend myself. No food.
That's not true at all. It was a lot of food. It was a lot of food.
Oh,
a lot of food.
God.
Refute Kamau in this moment, Hiram.
Wine,
Come on up here.
kind
Come
of
on
wine,
up here.
Oh my
all that.
God.
Taste testing. You know what I'm saying?
Son gave me a glass of water. I ain't had no beer. Damn, son.
No beer on the Super Bowl?
They
You didn't
had
get
to
a
Beer drinker. Don't do it.
What? So you
I don't
get
drink
no
beer.
You don't drink beer, but aren't you hosting?
Fuck them. I don't. You could have bought it if you wanted it. I don't think that nigga drink.
Yeah, you are supposed to bring something if you come to somebody's house.
He came empty-handed.
What?
Empty-handed. He came.
Oh,
with nothing.
come on, Hiram. I know
Nothing.
they teach you better.
Exactly.
Wow.
Nothing.
He came just with an appetite.
Exactly.
And they gonna complain.
I didn't complain. I had to go spend my money on this dude with a spread.
Damn.
Different cheeses from around the world and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Monterey Jack.
Yeah. That. Yeah. Cheddar, American,
Swiss.
Kraft,
Swiss.
Velveeta, all that shit. All that.
Wow. Hiram, don't ever come without
Give him some government cheese so he could go back to his roots and shit like that.
Oh, nice.
Come on. Hey.
I mean,
He's from Connecticut.
He's from Connecticut. I was like,
Yeah.
niggas ain't that rich. All right. I guess it's time to take a break and get into some news. Maybe. I guess has Trump done anything new?
Renee,
it's like a Trump watch out this bitch.
I gotta get my list together.
Okay, all right. Well, let's take a quick break. Do I got my music together?
we
Go
don't
ahead and
know.
tell them something. Well, all right, go ahead and do that.
Okay. Hey, remixers, how you guys feeling on this good remix Tuesday? We appreciate y'all joining us. If you're in the DC area, we ready for the snow day? We got snow on deck today. They're calling for 4 to 8 inches in the DC region.
Wow. Well, let me go ahead and get to the weather report so we can
Get to
let
that
them know
weathers.
exactly what it is right here on the Remix Morning Show. Welcome to the Mad City. Welcome to the Mad City of Black Liberation Media. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in, hitting that like button, subscribing if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and there you will find footage that's rare. And also what you can do is you can donate. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, it says blkliberationmedia.org. If you can't see it and you just listening to us in your headphones while you're doing your walk, while you're in a car, whatever, blkliberationmedia.org. So when you get to your final destination, go ahead and donate. All right, boom. Let's get to the weather report. Let's start off with the ATL. Listen, last week we got to a high of 77. Spring came and spring went. Now we got a high today of only 49 degrees, so I got to turn my heater back on. DC, as Kim said, some snow coming. 34 degrees is the high over there. Chicago ain't much different. They got a high of 27 degrees. Next, let's take it down to NO, where they just had the Super Bowl. They got a high today of 80 degrees. Nice and warm down at New Orleans, baby. Next, let's take it to LA. They got a high of 60 degrees. To the Caribbeans of Belize, they got a high of 81 degrees. And last but not least, let's take y'all to Cameroon, 94 degrees. And with the Cameroonian language, I would say Wombi. That means good morning. All right. Now, I'll tell you what else was kind of hot. Well, let me take you there. What was kind of hot was, as they was talking about earlier in Ohio, how some stuff was going down. The neo-Nazi group came through. And let me show you how they came through real quick. Let's do it.
Flags with swastikas on them. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. The hate was right out in the open. So brazen, Ohio's governor felt compelled to respond.
This morning, new surveillance footage of an armed group of men carrying flags emblazoned with swastikas marching through the streets of Columbus, Ohio. The troubling incident happening Saturday afternoon. Each person dressed head to toe in all black, masks concealing their faces. They shouted vile and racist speech against Jews and people of color. Ohio's governor denouncing the neo-Nazis, writing, "There is no place in this state for hate, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or violence." Hate crimes have been on the rise for the past several years, according to data from the FBI. The Anti-Defamation League also notes a stunning increase in acts of anti-Semitism, with incidents doubling last year compared to 2022. Overnight, African-American community leaders in Columbus taking to the same streets in a peaceful counter-protest.
Hey, they said let's get out of there and represent on our streets. They're going to try to come in Ohio? Come on, son. Anyway, let's get back to it right here with the Remix Morning crew. You know how we do.
Yeah, that was wild. That was going to be like the opening story. So I got some other video if you want to stay on for it too.
By all means. So.
Yeah. So I see that the news media's version of events also just included a peaceful protest. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to show this quick video, because what they also did was go to, let me stay from the beginning.
Cincinnati.
What they also did was they were spotted close to, I think it's Lincoln Heights, which is, and you can see him above the bridge. Mm-hmm. And as you get closer, it'll come into focus. You can see the SWAT stickers, the flag, all that kind of stuff. America is the white man's country. So that's what they were doing. And then in response to this. So it wasn't just a so-called peaceful
Here
protest.
come the blacks. Here come the
Um,
blacks. Here come the
Black
blacks.
folks started to organize in the neighborhood and came out with weapons, with guns,
Yeah.
to control the neighborhood. In this part, the media, you don't get this only on social media. Out here in the community, after the word spread that the whites were out, black folks came
Wow.
out with their weapons
Look
and
Obama.
set up checkpoints where they would not let folks get through in the neighborhood.
So Ohio's another one of those states you could just walk freely with a gun?
Yes, sir. Open carry.
Oh.
Here, this cop is trying to get them to open up to move the cars.
Nah.
And people are standing there being like, I don't know what you're talking about. You better drive on by. And he drives on by. Those cars are not moved. He goes to park over there. People are out with their guns, protecting their neighborhood. And so, as we've spoken about before, this is where we're at. Where these open white supremacists, kind of like the white overt and the white nationalist government, these open white supremacists again are feeling their oats, as we say, demonstrating, walking, heading towards black communities, and black folks started to say they're going to self-organize. That wasn't organized by an organization, to my knowledge. It was self-organizing, and they set up a checkpoint in their neighborhood to stop all cars before they got to the black community.
And another dope thing is the video where they show how they came on a U-Haul truck, and then the protesters chased them down, and then they wound up running back into the U-Haul truck and taking off. So it wasn't playing. Big up to Ohio, Columbus, and all them peoples out there. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. That's how you organize.
Gotta have your pew-pews, everybody. It's pew-pew time.
Ain't it?
It's pew-pew time. You know what I'm saying? And, and I understand why people who don't, utilize their Second Amendment rights. I understand why people, you may have children in the house. It could be all kinds of reasons. Well, kids got to get familiar with the click clack also. You know what I'm saying? And we teach them when it's appropriate to use it, when it's not appropriate to use. And we touch it here, we don't touch it there. And it's time. Pew-pew time. And especially also, y'all that live in red states like y'all ends. You know what I'm saying? They sell the Glock at the Kroger. So go get you one.
And another thing you need to do is go to the
you
mean Walmart. But another thing you need to do is go to the farmers markets, get y'all a big bag of rice, get y'all some beans, get stuff that you can store and have ready in case these markets be like, you know what, we don't want to serve y'all because they can control food and water and liquids. I mean, what you gonna do? So stock up on that too.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. It reminded me a little bit like of a little bit during 2020 again here in Atlanta when the Wendy's Rayshard Brooks was murdered by the police, and not only did the Wendy's get burned down, again a true community effort. In terms of people out there. But then folks, again, just took over the Wendy's to hold it so that the police couldn't come and surround it. And for a few days, folks were letting folks come in and drive through to take pictures so that folks could see what was done, where Rayshard was murdered, what were the circumstances of the killing. And so, again, the community took over. And I know this happened in some other places, too, where other communities took over things. But it reminded me of like people sort of just coming out spontaneously out the crib and the level of weapons. You know what I mean? Again, it's not going to challenge an organized trained force at this stage. But the weapons, there was some carelessness with the weapons, of course, and it led to like a tragic event later on. But even you can see the fact that cats were loaded up and ready to come. And we were about to provide some training courses for folks on sort of lookouts and places to station people. And before that, again, a tragic incident took place. But you could see that people in the neighborhood in certain communities are ready or trying to get ready, let's say, and do understand the period that we're entering into. It is open fascism. potentially means that again, these white militias, these organized white forces, with or without so-called government support, are also making their own play for control, power, and this is what they think, what their role is, and obviously the government is not going to stop them, right? And I think part of this response also, as people were saying, what was the police response to this? There is no indication that people were arrested as they were being threatened, and so forth. And then as we see it in this quick video, we do see the police trying to open up the black neighborhood at a time when black folks are on watch, to make sure folks can't get in there and do what they want to do. So.
And these whites are just participating in a long tradition in America of white terrorism and coming to black communities, coming to black neighborhoods to intimidate and terrorize black folks. And our folks are also participating in a long tradition of fuck that shit. Like, no, what y'all thought this was? Even if it was 100 years ago, our ancestors were still standing 10 toes down. Like, y'all think y'all coming in here and we not going to do gunplay? Okay.
So do you feel like the only time we're gonna bear arms is when it comes down to racial equality, inequality, and police brutality? Is that
unfortunately
the key?
Our youngsters bear arms now? they are actively bearing arms. Unfortunately,
to organize and come together, be on the same team. Like, we're not having this in our community.
I think it's a good reason. I mean, I think it's I think it's. I wouldn't call it for racial equality. I'd call it for protecting black communities and black people. And hopefully it will go further than that in terms of folks realizing, like some of the things you said earlier, not only do we need to physically be able to protect our community, but because we don't have power and people own the institutions in our community, that gets food in our community, water and all the rest of it, that unless we do some other things too, to really make sure that the community can survive, whatever happens, whoever controls some of these mechanisms. Some people laugh at what's happening in terms of the federal government. Oh, he's cutting off employees, but that's going to direct particular services, both statewide and across the country. It's going to affect water, like, the health and safety of water, the health and safety of food. Even if people have complaints now about the ways in which the government allows corporations to get away with things, imagine if the level of whatever watching has happened even decreases further than that, right? And if we are not prepared, as again, folks talk about, to be able to feed ourselves, in a sense, to make sure we have clean, healthy drinking water, in addition to battling to make sure white supremacists don't try to come into our neighborhood and just wipe people out, right? Just out of sport, just out of pure hatred and racism. And again, in their mind, a way of taking control, because they ain't got shit themselves, but they got time on their hands to come against black folks, right? And always it comes down to them blaming black folks for whatever problems they have in their own communities and so forth. Not the billionaires, but black folks is who they blame. So I think, coming together to protect community is going to be an important thing now. Giving people, as Kim mentioned, getting people training, doing other things that are necessary. I think all this stuff becomes heightened at this particular juncture in our history, because again, Donald Trump has individually or through the politics done more than any other recent president to overtly release white nationalist forces, where they're not hiding as much as they used to. They're not scared to say certain things. My God, the richest person in the world is doing Heil Hitler signs, right? So there is definitely an openness to it. And the question becomes, I think the other question is, whether or not we become smart enough to understand that the Democrats are not going to save us. And so getting some Democrat back in power is not going to put these forces back in the bag, right? These forces are out. They feel empowered. They feel like they control things and they own things. And I'm starting to think, at first I thought this was a little foolish, but I'm starting to think they're saying Donald Trump is talking about serving a third term, right? So I'm starting to think that these folks, will not necessarily allow another so-called election for whatever that's worth. So I think some of this is out the bag, and it's going to be out the bag for a long time.
Let me let y'all get to some more stuff. I gotta get the next break ready.
Peace. What's up, y'all? It's 8:36. Should we step into the news here, Doctor, or are we already on the floor? We already on the dance floor. Two-step into. Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Remix Morning Show, Black Liberation Media, on the 11th of February, 2025. Is this still Aquarius season? Or are we transitioning into Pisces? I always get this time of year confused. But anyway,
Me too.
happy birthday to whatever sun sign you are born under on today. Kamal Franklin is here. I'm Kim Brown. We got the ear doctor, of course, the remixers in the chat. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, do what you can to support us here at Black Liberation Media. Go to blkliberationmedia.org in order to support. It makes Kamal so happy. We appreciate you so much. Camus, we again, I don't know where in the world you would like to begin, but we could literally begin anywhere in the world. Where would you like to start?
True. Well, I got another local story that I think is just fascinating. Again, this may hit on who the Democrats really are, but so your man Eric Adams in New York, the mayor of New York, is rejoicing today because the Justice Department directs prosecutors to drop federal corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. So quickly, the Department of Justice is moving to drop the federal corruption case against New York Chair Eric Adams, according to a memo obtained by CNN, a memo which was sent by acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove, instructed the acting United States Attorney for the Southern District to dismiss the charges as soon as it is practicable, subject to several conditions, including a review by the Southern District after the November mayoral election. The Justice Department last year brought public corruption charges against Adams, a Democrat, in the first prosecution of a sitting mayor in the city's modern history. Adams pleaded not guilty, and the case was set to go to trial this spring. Let's see, in a statement, the Alex Spiro, an attorney for Adams, who is also represented Trump ally Elon Musk, said in part, "As I said from the outset, the mayor is innocent and he would prevail. Today he has."
Hold on, Spiro isn't Spiro Jay-Z's lawyer too? So Spiro represents Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Trump on occasion, and Eric Adams. Who is this guy? Whoa, I'm sorry, I just had to do that.
Oh, no, yeah. I said the memo cites two reasons for ordering the dismissal. One of them is not that Mayor Adams was kissing Trump's ass, but that should be in the memo. The two reasons for ordering dismissal: the Justice Department's opinion that the case has been tainted by publicity, and that it is impeding with Adams' ability to do the job as mayor, including cooperating with President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. I.e., that is kissing the president's ass. The pending prosecution has unduly restricted Mayor Adams' ability to devote full attention and resources to the illegal immigration and violent crime that has escalated under the policies of the prior administration, writes Bove. So the request to drop the case against the mayor is sure to raise questions about his independence. So we can stop there. So Mayor Adams will not face charges of corruption. He is again made what this doesn't say directly is that obviously he's made a deal with Trump to not criticize him. I think some of that has been reported in the past, and to pick up and to follow Trump's lead on his immigration policies. And in exchange for that, his charges have been dropped, like the same way that the same way your charges would be dropped, the same way we expect Luigi's charges to be dropped,
right?
Because too much publicity means that this case cannot obviously go forward. Adams is getting his proper due process, and there's nothing here to look at behind the scenes. Yes.
Nothing to say about the actual charges. Like, okay, he stands firm with the Trump's immigration, position. But hello, the bribery. What about the bribery from a whole foreign state? Like they got the text message. I thought Eric Adams had to have been the dumbest cop on the planet with all these incriminating text messages that he and his staffers were sending to and from each other regarding all this, quid pro quo coming from, Turkish state officials. And I said, what a dumbass cop. Like, who thinks that you could just delete messages off a cell phone and that's it? Like, you've eliminated evidence. And I'm like, oh, this case against Eric Adams is open and shut, but not smooching the correct derriere. I must say, well played, Mayor Adams. Like, well played. Like, I thought this nigga was in trouble, Kamal.
I did too. I thought like let's see what happens, but no. I mean, my man's personal interest is well placed above anything else.
The whole administration had their houses ran up in. You know what I'm saying? The mayor, the deputy mayor, the deputy mayor, like everybody's house got ran up in. This whole circle was under investigation, indictment. Everybody, niggas resigning and shit. The commissioner of the police, like, so what? Everybody get their job back? Like,
I guess so. Everybody's innocent. Kim, how dare you? Everybody is now officially innocent. Of course they should get their jobs back. They are lining up with there is a big party at Eric Adams' house right now. A big, huge sigh of relief and a huge party. And that's right. Everybody's getting away with it. I'm assuming, I can't remember if anybody earlier took a plea. They're the ones who's mad. The ones who took a plea and who were not able to wait it out or did not understand that that Adams' duplicity or complicity with the Trump regime would lead later to like these kinds of drop charges. I mean, it's amazing. I can't even imagine the behind the scenes conversation where he's sitting with Trump and Trump is basically patting him on the head and being like, "It's going to be all right. You just follow these instructions. You just kiss the ring, and it's going to be all right." You know what I mean?
You know who else might come home?
Who?
You know who else might come home? You know you know Trump was undoubtedly at least one freak off, my nigga. Thank you, Ear Doctor. Yes. Why not? I mean, it's from Kim's perspective, it's fuck Diddy. You know what I'm saying? It's fuck that nigga. But at the same time, this nigga has a stake in X, right? Didn't Diddy put up some money for Elon to buy X? Again, there are so many photos of Diddy and Trump together. If you search Getty Images, why not Diddy? I mean, it's fuck Diddy, to be clear.
Yeah.
But why not Diddy also? And it's a federal case.
You are right. No, you are completely correct. I'm sure there's some calls being made by the lawyer to whoever he can reach in the White House. I'm sure Diddy has opened up his phone, and if he has some camera, some footage, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's like, I'm gonna get that footage. Like, I'm gonna burn all this.
And Kanye is promoting, like, Kendrick should have said free Diddy at the Super Bowl, and Kanye is working on the clothes brand with Diddy, so he's definitely gonna put in a call to Trump and be like, "Yo, get him out."
That's a team. I don't even know if I can't. I mean, Kanye is so untouchable again. Untouchable, but still, I mean, like his latest rant apparently on X where he's actually saying the Jews. And again, with like showing pictures of Hitler and stuff like that, this dude is out of his mind.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, I mean, I think that's all possible within the next few months, or maybe at the end of the administration here. I mean, he doesn't wait till the end, so he doesn't even scared of that. He'll just pardon them outright under the right circumstances. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. Yes.
Well, and because again, I suspect that Eric Adams was a freak off participant also, and why not Trump? You know what I'm saying? Of course, Trump, big old freak. You know what I'm saying? Dirtbag. You know, rawing sex workers while Melania was pregnant. You know, he's a terrible person. So why not him be at the freak off? So I feel like all the freak off attendees are about to exonerate.
You're all right. No, you're 1,000% correct. I didn't. Yeah. I mean, I think for Trump, at least for now, you know, Adams is useful in terms of, you know, New York City, what he can do in terms of exploiting the opening, in terms of anti-immigration, allowing ICE to go and having NYPD assist ICE overtly in making mass arrests. I'm sure that there's going to be things now that Adams owes Trump for the dropping of these charges, and he said, and still kind of holding it over his head a little bit, because you know what gets dropped can get picked back up.
That's correct.
It's not like just because these charges get dropped is that they can't reopen the case, refile, There's a certain time period they have for all of that. And so we're well within the limits of if Adams does not follow through on whatever his promises are to Trump. And again, I'm sure there are promises that have been made. It's not like he's out of hot water. And I know there's an election coming up, if not this year, next year, where the wildest of things, like, is it Cuomo, one of the leading candidates for mayor in New York City, the former governor of New York State,
another dirt bag.
Exactly.
Bag. Wow.
Yeah, is apparently thinking about or in the process of throwing his hat in the ring to run for mayor of New York City. The governor, I heard, may also be running for mayor, the governor of New York State, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I guess you get more publicity out of running for mayor than not. So all of this is back in play. So Adams may serve his purpose, but he may serve his purpose for a short period of time, because I think his favorability ratings are not high at all, and this is only going to make them lower. But for him, it's like, fuck it, I'd rather be low favored and not win the mayoral election than spend the next 10 years in federal prison. So he's cut his deal, which means mass deportations are on the way via New York City, and just look out for that.
Incredible times. Yeah, it's interesting to see Black politicians get this kind of favor, but okay. I don't know. And who else has exonerated more Black politicians than Trump? Come out, I submit.
It is wild times. I agree.
Marilyn Mosby was trying to make her appeal to the wrong president. See, that's where you fucked up, Marilyn. You should have been writing letters to Donald, not to Biden.
Oh my God. And I'm sure all these elite politicians, these Black bourgeois politicians are probably going to be doing just like that. They're all going to have some letters written to Trump, written about the unfair treatment, pledging some allegiance and alliance, particularly those who are still in office, to see if other charges can still be dropped. So we'll see what's going to happen. Indeed. Okay.
What news do we have on deck?
I have, I wanted to go international because I think this is still on the crazy world we live in. Trump has not backed off his statement. In fact, he's doubled down in a recent interview, calling for Gaza to be emptied out, basically, for 2 million people to be removed from Gaza into both Egypt and to Jordan. I think later today or tomorrow, he's actually having a presidential visit, or, this is actually a so-called king. So Jordan's King Abdullah meets Trump. And the question here in Al Jazeera is posed: can he resist U.S. pressure on Gaza? Trump's comments on displacing Palestinians from Gaza face strong opposition from Jordan and Arab countries. Strong opposition is a strong word to use. King Abdullah II is set to meet United States President Trump in D.C. amid the latter's repeated insistence that the monarch accepts Palestinians he would like to expel from Gaza. So the U.S., and not just the U.S., in Trump's wording, him personally, will not only take control, but own Gaza and turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East, has been what Trump's words have been. The idea came up in Trump's comments made alongside a smiling Israeli prime minister.
Smirking.
Yes, just smiling and smirking, you're right. The Palestinians should be removed from the devastated Gaza Strip. Trump has emphasized that, to his mind, the Palestinians would not return, making his idea ethnic cleansing. It says Jordan rejects the idea. Trump's comments were condemned not only by Jordan, but also Egypt, which Trump also said should take Palestinians from Gaza, as well as Saudi Arabia, the United States, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. However, Trump said financial support for Jordan and Egypt would force their hand. If they don't agree, I would conceivably withhold aid, Trump said on Monday, the day before meeting King Abdullah. U.S. financial backing for Jordan is important, with the country is the fourth highest recipient of U.S. foreign aid in 2023. Obviously, the highest is Israel. Number 2 is Egypt. I'm not sure who number 3 is, but Jordan is number 4 with $1.72 billion. But accepting the uprooting of millions of Palestinians from Gaza would be a political non-starter for Amman, according to analysts. Accepting another wave of Palestinians into the country remains a red line. A non-resident scholar said, and it said the king will not budge on this matter. We shall see. Abdullah, a longtime U.S. ally, has been under pressure internationally and domestically since the beginning of Israel's war on Gaza. Jordan's position as a key regional ally to the U.S. and a trade partner with Israel has agreed to overwhelmingly pro-Palestinian, has angered its overwhelmingly pro-Palestinian population, which also includes at least 2 million Palestinian refugees and Jordanians of Palestinian origin. Basically, Jordan gets military and financial aid from the United States, and there's approximately 2,000 U.S. troops stationed in Jordan, which has been used as a launching pad for U.S. adventures in the Middle East already. And as we already know, Jordan participated in supporting Israel when Iran did retaliatory strikes against Israel for its war on Gaza, and then targeting Iranian officials. And so basically Jordan is in the hot seat as the Jordan president comes to Washington, D.C. And this press conference should be wild because Trump has no filter, and Trump will probably overtly and openly say his expectation is that Jordan will be taking in Palestinians from both Gaza and the West Bank, or they'll lose their aid so that he can remake Gaza and set up housing and all the rest of it. And Trump also continually says that Palestinians won't want to come back because although the United States is not going to pay for it, they will be set up with beautiful housing in whatever new land in Egypt and or Jordan that they're forced to be removed to. And so a lot of this is coming to a head. Again, these puppet regimes in Jordan and Egypt are nothing but puppet regimes. What will they do, knowing that their population and some insurgencies, particularly in Egypt, and Jordan has just been anger in the streets, but not a actual insurgency at this particular stage. What will be the reaction when the king tries to either demur or not overtly say that we are not doing this? Will Trump, with continually, and in Jordan, I should say, aid has already been held up in terms of this 90-day review of all U.S. aid. The only two exceptions to that has been aid directly to Israel and to Egypt and some so-called humanitarian aid, but Jordan was not excluded from that list. So already it's not getting U.S. aid. What will Jordan, the fiefdom, the king, do to continue to get aid? And aid doesn't mean it goes to the people. U.S. aid means it's going to the king and whatever the king wants to spend that money on. And a lot of that money is spent on military and police to control the internal population. So what will be the reaction and what will the king say when Trump in his face tells him you're taking Palestinians or else?
So I'm not certain what the King of Jordan's position is in his homeland, but it from what I understand, the royal family is a little tenuous. Like the Jordanian people could be ripe to overthrow this particular ruling family, and then I'm not sure what the political situation will be in Jordan after that. But I mean, are these Arab countries and these Muslim countries, like, is this a make or break moment for them in the eyes of their people? Like, if Jordan or Egypt goes along with basically a second catastrophe, a Nakba, right? The removal of 2 million Palestinians, what are the Arab states going to do? Because they're not necessarily beholden to their people, but in some ways they are. And when I hear Trump continuing with the empire and imperial mission of nation building yet another nation in Palestine, as he's talking about annexing Canada, as he's talking about invading Panama and Greenland, as he's offering refugee status to the white Africa. Like it's a lot here. And I'm thinking about Egypt. I know Egypt put out a tough statement that, they won't be taking Palestinians, but Al-Sisi was installed by the US, right? Because so I hear you talking, General, but I mean, you only got your job because of US interference. So
I think I agree with you. I think we're at again an important point in terms of what happens in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia again, Egypt, Jordan, several other the Gulf nations have continuously basically allowed Palestinians to be hoarded, imprisoned, murdered. And as opposed to being one of the countries in the axis of resistance, they have continually received aid and developed relationships, both official and unofficial, with Israel. And even though their populations in mass have been pro-Palestinian, most of these nation states which rule with an iron fist in a lot of ways. They'll let some marches and demonstrations take place to let the pressure cooker ease its way out, but they only let these folks go so far. And even during the marches and demonstrations that were taking place in Jordan that were pro-Palestinian during the open onslaught on Gaza, there were many mass arrests made in Jordan against protesters to take people out and put them in prison. So they've already been cracking down on their own citizens who have taken pro-Palestinian marches and demonstrations out to the streets. But this is a little bit of a turning point because again, this is not sort of an open, as opposed to this being the standard U.S. lie that it is trying to get a two-state solution. Trump has dropped that pretext completely and is basically saying Israel, America will control Gaza, and vis-a-vis Gaza, the West Bank. The West Bank there's already operations Israel is conducting in the West Bank, basically along the lines of clearing it out and turning that land over to, at first and foremost, will be Israel, and then potentially for U.S. use also, which means Kushner and other American billionaires can get in on the deals. So this is an open call, as Trump likes to do. He's not subtle about his shit. This is an open call for U.S. empire, as you stated. And what are these lackeys going to do? And are they going to try to, again, behind the scenes, say President Trump, this is a non-starter, we can't do this, if this happens and we will lose this and we will lose that? Or will they stand up bold and say, you know what, we don't want to be on the dole anymore. We refuse to be on the dole anymore. We're going to open up, if we open up our borders, it's to allow more weapons and guns, more aid into Palestine so that Palestinians can fight back. We're going to not have military agreements with Israel, and we're going to fight back. Are we going back to a period of the 70s where that was more open? Will these folks, most likely these folks will demur. But the question becomes how they're going to try to get away with it and openly sort of, keep their populations in check as they do so, particularly for Egypt and Jordan. I think this is lesser an issue for Saudi Arabia right now. They seem to be able to get away with lots because they're such a rich country and they have such a huge social welfare system. Egypt and Jordan do not have those, and so their country is particularly sort of vulnerable in terms of revolts.
And even speaking of vulnerability, the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, the terms seem more tenuous, even though Israel has not been abiding by the terms of the ceasefire. They have continued shooting and killing Palestinians. In fact, I think they issued some sort of order as some Palestinian prisoners were being released that Palestinians were not allowed to celebrate in the streets. And, the Israeli army was out there still shooting at folks that happened to be out, celebrating the coming home of those that had been in prison. And Trump made an announcement, I guess yesterday, I don't know what day it was, but that all Israeli hostages should be released by Saturday at noon. And if not, quote, all hell will break loose. I'm very concerned that the bombing is going to resume, even though Israel's still shooting. They haven't been bombing to my awareness. And that would be devastating for the Palestinians that are still, coming out of the refugee camps, going back to their towns and their neighborhoods, trying to salvage what they can. Currently not under the active threat of bombing, but that could easily change. Yeah. And then I saw reports that Trump had authorized the sale of the mother of all bombs to Israel, and that apparently the U.S. has been holding back on selling Israel this particular bomb, this deep bunker busting bomb that it's speculated could be used against Iran, who, does their nuclear development deep underground, but, obviously could be done in Palestine also. And it just seems that Israel's about to get the green light again to resume bombing in the very near term. So I don't know. I feel it's a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. You're right. No, it's a lot. It's tenuous. I heard the same thing. Like Hamas has said, it's not going to release further hostages until Israel stops breaking the deals of what the truce was supposed to be. And as you said, they're murdering Palestinians still. They're doing raids in the West Bank. They're not honoring the truce as it was laid out. And Hamas is again saying we're not going to just follow this deal. I mean, Hamas has more guts than Jordan, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia put together in terms of its vulnerability to being attacked, right? And its people being attacked. And again, when these attacks resume, as they are most likely can be and will be, what will be the positioning of countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan? As we've noted before, Yemen stood up. Obviously, Hezbollah stood up. Iran stood up. All these countries did something to forestall or stop Israel in terms of its bombardment, or make them pay a price for it at the very least. While these other countries, Turkey included, did nil nothing except write statements that this was terrible, right? So I think there's a lot more to see. This is going to be obviously a steady story that's going to be coming time. And the Palestinian Authority hasn't done anything except pave the way in the West Bank for Israel. And they have, connections to Israeli Secret Service or Israeli secret police. And so they've not done anything in terms of stopping or fighting back overtly. In fact, they've turned their own weapons against so-called Palestinian militants in the West Bank, as opposed to turning them against the oppressor nation. So yeah, there's a lot to see and a lot going on.
Is Jenin in the West Bank? Is that the story I saw this weekend, that the IDF or settlers started to attack the folks in Jenin, and the Palestinian Authority just left? they just bounced. They were like, good luck.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. In fact, somebody said, I think it's recent story recently said over 40,000 Palestinians have been displaced now in the West Bank. And so those numbers are growing. So that the displacement is taking place as a so-called truce is happening in Gaza. They've now turned their war machine on the West Bank. So yeah. So let's go to the ear doctor to come up with a break.
Man, it's a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. We'll get a break here. Actually, I mean, where else? Listen, all y'all remixes out there, tell some other people that you're not going to get a radical perspective like this nowhere else but right here on the Remix Morning Show when it comes to stuff going down in the world right now. So
how many people we got watching? We got a few folks.
We had 500 live. Now we just dropped down to 474. But yeah, we'll get back up there, you know what I mean? So big up to all the people tuning in. It's a lot going on, so let's take a mental health break and get back into it right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. And you can also donate at blkliberationmedia.org at the bottom of the screen. We would very much love that. But for now, let's do a remix on a remix. Y'all cool with that?
Here it is, bam! And you say, goddamn, this is the dope jam. But let's define the term called dope, and you think it ain't funky now. No, here is a true tale. Why the ones that deal, all the ones that fail, yeah. You move if you wanna move. What it prove? You feel like the groove. The problem is this. We gotta fix it. Check out the justice and how they run it. Smelling, sniffing, ripping. And brothers trying to get swift in. Selling their own, rob a home, while some shrivelable like comatose walking around. So you don't confuse this with the sound. I'm talking about bass.
All right, we talking about bass. How low can you go? Let me take y'all to a depth y'all ain't been yet. Let me take you back to 1982. We talking about with the artist Pieces of a Dream. Off their album We Are One. The name of this song is Mount Airy Groove. Mixed with a little bit of 1988 off that album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. We talking about Public Enemy, y'all. The name of that song is Night of the Living Bassheads. Yes, right here on the Remix Morning Show as we give it to you and give y'all a little peace of mind with a piece of dream. Now let's get back to it. Remix Morning Show, Boom Bap Breakfast. Yes, it's us. Yeah. Your face is stuck.
No, I was on it. I was like, damn, that was so good. That was really, really good.
Appreciate it.
I need a copy of that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, Pieces of a Dream. They just that whole groove right there was just jazzy.
What were the
nice.
big hits? What was another big hit of this?
That was it.
That was it. Okay.
Me. I mean, you know me. I know some one hits. I might not. I wonder about the others. But maybe Kim Brown might know. You know, Kim, anything about Pieces of a Dream?
I know it is an auntie and uncle special. The aunties and the uncles dug Pieces of a Dream back in the day. Now, I can't tell you what they sang, but I know that the aunties and the uncles dug them. Mount Airy Groove. We talking about Mount Airy, Philly? Which Mount Airy we talking about? Mount Airy Groove.
Possibility. We're going to have to do some quick plug. Maybe have to do something on classical breakdown to find
on Pieces of a Dream.
No. It would be a piece of a bigger dream.
Okay.
It'd be a piece of a bigger dream.
I like that. Yeah.
I know, right?
I know y'all like to dig in the crates, but
10-minute show.
Hey, shut up, Air Doctor. You don't know about the people. Them people got jams. We just don't know it.
Leah said it's Philly. Here. It is Philly. Leah know about some Philly, boy. That's a town. Big up to Philly. Philly.
We love Philly. We love Philly.
Like, 3 in a row. People bigging up Philly and Pieces of a Dream. I hope. Can you do some songs on Pieces of a Dream? I mean,
Gamble and Huff. I was watching the Luther.
I watched it too.
Oh my God! There's so much stuff I did not know he did.
Yeah.
Yo.
It was phenomenal, Phenomenal.
Oh my God. The backup for everybody from David Bowie to
Roberta
everybody.
Flack. Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen it too?
Warwick. Oh yeah.
Man,
yeah. That's the only reason I watch CNN, right? CNN. That's the only worthy programming on CNN.
Has Dionne Warwick had the most perfect teeth all her life?
Perfect? Is that what you say?
yes.
You call those perfect?
Shit, you ain't seen them?
Who has not seen her teeth? That's the running joke and whatever. Like, I mean, you talk about an overbite, B. God damn, she could eat an apple from a mile away with those.
Easy.
I'm like, God damn, no.
Easy.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, he ain't lying.
What's wrong with him?
I did not realize he wrote, arranged, produced, worked with so many people, was on Sesame Street when it started.
I know
it was rapping and singing. Oh my!
That was hilarious to see them. So like the young plump Luther on Sesame Street doing his thing. I was like, I mean, come on now. I still feel he's underrated. The only thing I don't like, of course, is when he tried to like his desire to be more pop. You know what I mean? Like I know the artists. That's just part of what the artists say they want. But I just like that song. So my father's song. I was just like,
Dance. Oh, you ain't like Dance with My Father?
Hate it.
Wow.
I want
What
Luther.
about Your Secret Love? That's my shit. Would never be. No. Okay.
No, I'm down with almost
The new
every
one.
Luther song except for that.
Mm.
That's because I just felt like that was his crossover pop success, and it's just like I don't like the song. I just did not like it. It just but House is Not a Home, all that.
Yeah.
All that.
And those outfits that they came on stage with, I mean, oh my gosh. And how shiny and glittery his hair was to match with the outfits. I mean, that Jerry curls was follow the drip. I mean, it was ridiculous.
When I say Luther's underrated, somebody say in the chat, because I mean, like, people don't say like Marvin Gaye, Luther Van. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Luther is a match for all those cats, but doesn't get that kind of love. And some of it could be because he was, even if closeted like gay. I don't know why. I don't know, but I think even amongst Black R&B soul singers, Luther still does not get the top level of love or acknowledgement that I think he deserves. I think Luther is like top 3 or 4 all time, voice, singing, like you said, like all the stuff that he's done behind the scenes production wise. I don't think Luther gets that kind of credit.
That's a good argument right there. Good argument.
I love the fact that, as he was one of the most successful background singers, jingle singers in New York, Luther was caking up and he was setting his money aside for his own project. And then the creative vision that he had for himself to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no A&R guiding Luther. Like Luther put his first debut album together himself, handpicked everybody and put it to work. I mean, and it's a gorgeous song. I mean, everything, all of Luther's hits are just incredible.
And
I love.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, was Kamal's father around? That's why he don't like this song. But go ahead.
Oh, damn, no, out of nowhere. Oh, my feelings are hurt. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, doctor.
I mean, there's some reasons why people don't like songs.
I don't like it because it's some poppy. Like milky.
I'm working on emotions.
I know.
You are not working on emotions. You're far away from that. But that song is just so melancholy. I mean, he co-wrote it with Richard Marx, right?
Oh, did he?
Yes.
But hold on, Richard Marx. Wait a minute, don't diss Richard Marx.
I mean, name me a Black song
Wherever you go,
exactly is that. It is that
you do. I will be right here.
That's right.
Waiting.
I want my bland white songs by bland white artists. I don't want Luther wasting his talent on some bland song when he could do. Ooh. I mean, he could be wooing it up. So yes, I was never just like, come on now, not that one. That is not his signature. They tried to make that his signature song. So that is not his signature song, son. Let's be real.
No, I would agree. Not his signature song. He's got better signature songs than that one.
Yeah, and I like how Kendrick on his new album brought out that Luther song. So now people are going to start digging and finding out that sample and get to experience more Luther. So I love how hip hop does that for different artists that did their thing.
And don't forget, Kanye and Jamie did that too. Are you gonna be?
Oh yeah. Back when he was only half crazy.
Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, a little Anita.
No, I said in that song they did get mentioned with the Marvin Gaye. Yeah, Luther got mentioned. All right, big up to Kanye for something. All right, I'll get y'all next break. Just for that song. For his artist.
No, that's a different nigga. Like we talk about two different niggas. Like I mean,
before and after.
The AD and the BC.
We talk about two different folks because this new nigga, this new Ye. This nigga is a lunchbox. Get him out of here.
Now,
I wonder if it's like it's the mom after the mom passed.
Yeah,
we just blame it on that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know.
No, you know
she
why?
Was steering this. She was helping to keep his ship.
Some mental health.
She was the rudder on the ship.
Help.
Without that rudder, he's all over the place.
I mean, I agree. At the same time, such is life. All of our parents are going to pass away. We are going to pass away. Everyone's going to pass away. And I understand sometimes people can die unexpectedly and it leave a big hole. But all of that, like his mental illness and maybe his being upset and sad for his mom being gone, that doesn't justify his misogyny, his hatred of black women, his hatred of Jewish people. Like none of that justifies any of this shit. Like something is wrong with him. Like even beyond a diagnosis, these are deficiencies in his character. Like you are a terrible person, obviously.
I agree.
All right. Well, that's it for me. I'll catch you on next break.
All right.
Peace, ear doctor. Thank y'all, remixers. We appreciate y'all joining us. It's me and Kamau.
Your favorites. Your favorites.
Your favorites. Y'all know y'all love us sometimes. Well,
they love you. They love you.
They do love you too, Kamau. You know what I'm saying? Because you're one of the leading leaders out here. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you leading. You know what I'm saying? Leading.
I brought up your two stories. I like the South. You wanted to start with the South African one?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Why not? Because it's
that's good.
hilarious as Trump expropriates Gaza for whoever wants to come in and make a speculative buy. He is at the same time trying to make way for South Africa. What the fuck is going on in South Africa? Every white person I see from South Africa is like, we don't know what the fuck Trump is talking about. Like, everything he's saying is not accurate. But anyway, let the folks from South Africa tell us.
All right.
Population has rejected President Donald Trump's offer to resettle them as refugees in the United States after Pretoria recently enacted the expropriation law. On Friday, February 7th, President Trump signed an executive order cutting U.S. aid to South Africa, citing the expropriation law, which he says targets the whites in South Africa. In 2023, South Africa received $270 million in funding from the U.S. A large part of the funds went to healthcare. Official records show the white population in South Africa is 7.2% of the country's 63 million people, and they own over 70% of farmland. South Africa's expropriation law allows government to acquire privately owned land for public use. The landowner may be compensated or not, depending on purpose of acquisition. In his recent executive order, Trump said he would resettle Afrikaners who are victims of unjust racial discrimination in South Africa. Afrikaners are mostly white descendants of early Dutch and French settlers. The South African government, however, says Trump is amplifying misinformation. Under apartheid, 85% of South African land was reserved for whites, who formed 17% of the population at the time. A 78-year-old white pensioner in South Africa's Cape Town recently told Reuters news agency, "Our land has not been taken over by government. The people's lives are continuing normally. So, what are we going to do in the US?" AfriForum, an Afrikaner group led by Kaylee Creel, told Trump that its members would not take up his resettlement offer. Separately, the Solidarity Movement, which represents about 600,000 Afrikaner families and 2 million individuals, said, "We may disagree with the president's party, the African National Congress Party, ANC, but we love our country. Repatriation of Afrikaners as refugees is not a solution for us." Representatives of Orania, an Afrikaner-only town in South Africa, also rejected Trump's offer, saying, "Afrikaners do not want to be refugees. We love and are committed to our homeland." The matter on land reform boiled over on X network on Sunday, February 9th, when billionaire Elon Musk, who was born in Pretoria to South African parents, said opposition politician Julius Malema of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party, EFF, should be sanctioned over past remarks targeting whites in South Africa. According to Tesla CEO Musk, Malema called for genocide against the white population in South Africa. Musk also leads the US government's efficiency team, an advisory body tasked with identifying wastage in government. In response to Musk, Malema's party EFF said the billionaire's wealth has overwhelmed him and made him think of himself as supreme ruler of all nations in the world. Musk's net worth is $400 billion, making him the world's richest person. EFF added that equality in South Africa is rooted in the return of land to African people. Meanwhile, South Africa says it will not be bullied by the US for making sovereign decisions. decisions. Trump also cut aid for South Africa after Pretoria filed a case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, where Pretoria accuses U.S. ally Israel of committing genocide against Palestinians.
There you have it.
The whites are like, thanks, but no thanks. So I find that funny and sort of, I was crestfallen at the same time because it's like, yeah, haha, that the white Afrikaners are like, we don't want to fucking come to America. Ew. Like the real shithole country is the United States. We're not leaving beautiful South Africa to come to the fucking US. But
Yeah, why would they want to come? I mean, they own 70% of the goddamn land. They have their own towns.
I know,
They're
but
not giving that shit up to come and be a regular white here in the United States for now. They're not under any threat. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem is that they're not under any threat. The South African government, the ANC, has spent over 30-something years placating these white South Africans, these Afrikaners and others, and allowing them to retain the vast majority of not only African farmland, but African wealth. So why would they give any of that up to come to be some regular white with a regular job when they have extreme levels of wealth with swimming pools, private towns, private officers and security, stores that they go to and shop? They're living a king's life, a queen's life. No, they're not giving that up because South Africa has not done anything to make them feel, for the most part, like they are under any threat. That land should have been taken away 30-something years ago. And the fact that they haven't taken away the land speaks more of the criminality of the ANC than it does any other sort of criminal, any other criminality that could be taken. That land is the land of South African blacks. It was stolen from the indigenous population. They have no claim. When they say that no one is taking their land, you don't have land. You're a colonizer. That land is not yours. Even the idea of being compensated it's maybe a little bit of change so that you can get on the plane and go back someplace, but they're not owed any compensation. They've lived for centuries at this stage, decades. Family member after family member have lived rich lives, while South Africans in majority continue to live in desperate poverty 30 some odd years after apartheid has ended. They have not redistributed the wealth. They've not taken the minerals. They've not taken the land. And the only criminals here are the South African ANC government, which has not taken that land from the criminal colonizers who've controlled it for centuries. It's crazy.
I hate to see white Afrikaners talking about this is our homeland and we not going nowhere. I was nauseated to see the whites talking. It was the white leader from the white party. I don't know what he was, but he was like, this is our land. We're not going anywhere. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, that's very disappointing. I'm glad y'all not coming to America. At the same time, I do wish y'all would depart Africa because, in the same way that ICE and people that are targeting undocumented migrants here in the US are basically eyeballing people for the litmus test, like, oh, you look like an undocumented person, you're brown, you're black, you look like you don't belong here. I wish the Afrikaners were treated the same way. Like, y'all definitely don't belong here. I don't give a fuck how long y'all been here. You don't belong here. You need to go back home. But how much longer is the US, and I guess Trump specifically, going to be able to dangle this carrot of aid over people's heads? If y'all don't do what we want, we're going to take away the aid. You're not going to get no more aid. And I feel like, obviously the formation of BRICS is kind of a response to this, the way that the United States sort of tries to win its battles economically. But I feel like, this is going to be the boy that cried wolf too many times. All you're doing is talk about taking away aid. And at some point, people are not going to give a fuck about your aid.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully we're reaching a time like and again, we know it's difficult. I've had some private conversations with folks where obviously we know that aid keeps some people alive. Like, I know there's the United States provides aid for propaganda purposes. It provides aid as a stalking horse for CIA operatives, for overthrow operatives, for controlling the economy. In some ways, and it's hard for people to sort of digest this right now, it is a good thing if Trump takes away aid from some of these countries and they are no longer reliant or feel reliant on this aid as a pressure point for their economic sovereignty or to continue their government going. A lot of this aid doesn't reach the people anyway. Again, I feel like a lot of this aid is probably off the top, taken off, creamed off, and goes into rich folks' pockets. But you're right. This aid is the way, other than what's it called when they put this? I keep
Sanctions.
Sanctions. I keep wanting to say stipends, but sanctions. Other than overt sanctions, this aid is the other sort of lever in terms of the carrot of the stick. Taking away this, and the South African aid, relatively speaking, is not huge, right? It's $170 million. And these days, the South Africa needs to increase its connections to other nations around the world, China, other African natives in terms of trading partners, healthcare issues, because there is no reason why South Africa should not be a leading resistance country for Africa in terms of fighting back against Western imperialism. Its history is steep in understanding Western imperialism, colonialism, the connections between the South African government and the United States government and Israel, which when the United States had no choice but to stop supplying arms to the South African apartheid government, it basically told Israel to step in and supply those arms, go in and supply the aid to the South African apartheid government. That is well-known history. So there's no reason for the South Africa to continue to be overly dependent on the United States. They should have been breaking away decades ago, again, with a clear understanding of who the United States' role is. And I think some folks obviously do get, they're politicized enough in terms of the history, they do get it, but they continually don't want to upset the apple cart of what they see can be a major economic disturbance in their country if they start taking away land and if sanctions are introduced into them. But sometimes you got to, quote unquote, bite the bullet and move your economy off of the Western dole or outside of the orbit of capitalism when you're not making your people better off anyway, right? So I think, this is again another inflection point where the reduction of this aid or the taking away of this aid is supposed to. There's another story that said one of the first calls by the South African president was to Elon Musk after this story broke. So imagine that the person who's overtly a white nationalist, a white so-called white South African, who is saying out loud and whispering in the president's ear at the same time that white South Africans are being discriminated against and being oppressed, and saying it publicly. You make a call to that person. I mean, that's just ridiculous and on its face. You should be calling out that person, So yeah.
But the fact that Elon is the savior of white grievance globally now, right? Like he's doing it for the whites in South Africa, doing it for the whites in Germany, doing it for the whites in the UK and the US. It's like something must be done here about these people. And Elon and Trump sort of like taking on white victimhood as a clarion call, I guess, to the whites around the world. Stand up. Yep. Take your freedom, even though you have everything. Like what is going to be the end game here? Like I feel like they're trying to mobilize global white aggrandizement. Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. And to what end? To a global genocide? To not only begin with the Palestinians, but continue with Africans, continue with undocumented people in America, with undocumented migrants in the UK. Like what is the point here? What are we trying to do? Are they trying to kick off a global race war?
I think they're trying to, again, as you said, they're already on top. There's this idea, particularly within the United States and I think worldwide, that too many others are coming into their countries. One. Two, there's the rise of China and blocs like BRICS, which are attempting to replace them in terms of the world order. So I think there's those two things, and they don't want to be hemmed in by these so-called international institutions. They want the freedom to act as white colonizers, as roads, and go anywhere and everywhere they want and put pressure to make you heel to what they want you to do. So somebody just said in the chat, global white hegemony. That's exactly the right way to determine it. This is where we're at, and that's both domestically and internationally. Again, as we've mentioned, all these cuts to federal, to attempting to go after federal workers, the federal government overhires in terms of the population Black people because the private sector does not hire Black people equal to their sort of a percentage of the working population, right? And so it is the federal government. They are going after federal employees, not just to cut the government and to cut some of these resources and to privatize them, but also going after the staffing of the federal government, which again is sort of so-called overrepresented by Black folks who can't get jobs in other places. In addition to that, the DEI is clearly a way of making sure that corporations and other folks get the word that there will be no Black hiring unless you first hire white folks, again, in greater degrees. So this is a way for them to, in some ways, respond to the white working class that feels like they're quote unquote losing their country, to at least make whether or not statistically speaking, this proves itself to be some uplift for the white working class population. But even the sanctions against the tariffs against China, steel imports and everything else is all geared supposedly towards bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States and recreating a situation that we had back in the 50s and 60s, where white working class people felt like they were a part of the economy because they had safety in jobs and pensions and so forth. And so their challenge to capitalism is not to end capitalism, but to make capitalism work for the white working class. That is part of their ideological perspectives. Not only is this sort of the grandiose way in which they want to take over land and resources and sort of be white pimps who control the world, but it's also the white constituency that they're saying, you've been done wrong because all these niggas have gotten your jobs, or all these Mexicans have gotten your jobs, and all the rest of it. You've been done wrong, and we're going to make that right. That is part of their talking points to their white constituency. Whether or not, of course, you will ever reestablish the type of manufacturing with the protection, with putting up protections, is another question. But other countries, when other countries really develop, they don't do free trade. The United States didn't do free trade. It put up protections in its country for its own industry. So on its face, that is not something that I am upset about, as in, I wish other countries, I wish African nations, I wish Latin American nations and Asian nations would do more of a Chinese example of building up internal industries before letting other folks come in and cut them out. But for here in the United States, we know that all of that is geared towards not only increasing capitalist profit, but also reassuring white folks that this is your home.
Well, white folks are not reassured about their everyday material conditions as Trump continues to sign executive order after executive order, slapping tariffs here and there. What he's not doing is bringing down the price of eggs. And the price of eggs has shot up nationwide. From what I understand, though, this is seemingly a U.S. problem. For the egg prices globally are not as hiked up everywhere else as they are here. Now, we know the U.S. is being hit hard, at least we should know that it's being hit hard with avian flu, even though there seems to be a pause on government communications from agencies like the Centers for Disease Control. But avian flu is continuing to spread amongst the wild bird population. There have been literally hundreds of millions of chickens that have been culled, aka slaughtered, because of the widespread of avian flu. And the price of eggs is what, $7 a dozen, if I'm not mistaken. And so as the price of food continues to go up and not come down as Trump has promised, I'm wondering if some of the MAGA voters are beginning to feel a little disaffected. I feel like I'm starting to see the flickering of some eyelids from those that have supported Trump, because they understand that while he is busy signing a flurry of EOs addressing all kinds of random shit, DEI is not bringing down the price of food, beloveds. And I think that they're starting to maybe understand that a bit, because nothing in Trump's policies have done fuck all to address the egg issue in particular.
So it says, I just wanted to bring up a story to confirm what you're saying. Wholesale egg prices have eclipsed record levels as the U.S. scrambles, I guess no pun intended, to contain bird flu outbreak, and consumers may soon see more sticker shock at their local grocery stores as a result, according to analysis. On Friday, average wholesale price for large white shell eggs reached $8 a dozen, beating the previous record by a large degree. The previous all-time high was in December 2022 at $5.46. So it says at a time when U.S. inflation has eased broadly, egg inflation has caused anxiety for consumers. Consumers paid about $4.15 a dozen for large A-grade eggs, according to retail levels in December. While shy of the record of retail high of $4.82 per dozen in January 2023, retail prices are up 65% from that time period. So I think it's interesting to see how these moves, again, the tariffs on Canada, the tariffs on steel, some of the tariffs on oil, do they again, as you protect, one of the things about protectionism is that it does cause an increase in prices from importers. And so how much the American public is going to feel that increase in prices. And I don't know whether or not that's going to cause, a backlash. I think if it starts to get bad, as in under Biden, the way inflation started to begin to peak and to cause harm in people's pocketbooks, then I do think, there could be a backlash. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen any stories yet. I think there's still too much in the glow of whatever Trump does. That just means like flag waving, but we shall see. Because I agree, once it hits the pocketbook, then that becomes a change in attitude. We saw that during the Great Recession. Once it hit the pocketbook, for all that love of Bush, all of a sudden the whites were like, well, not all the whites, enough of them. We're like,
right.
maybe we will give this black guy a chance.
I mean, so I've been seeing some anecdotal stories of especially white small business owners, people that own construction companies, people that own farms. Like they're starting to say something, but at the same time, well, didn't you support the president? I did, but I didn't know. You didn't know. I didn't know he was going to cancel the federal grant program that helps to keep my farm afloat. I didn't realize that he was going to deport 50% of my workforce. I didn't. So that's where I'm starting to hear, at least, like I said, anecdotally on social media, some of the open questioning of Trump's policies, but they haven't fully turned there, but I feel like they're starting to wake up.
Come on over to the vegan and vegetarian side, y'all. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's right. You don't got to worry about egg prices, do you?
Hey, I sure don't. These dirty birds, I'm telling you, it's. I know y'all love the lemon pepper wings and this, that, and the third.
Chicken is magical,
great,
sir. Chicken is magical. Look at, and it's funny. Like I love how like fried chicken is stereotyped as black people. I said, show me where in the world they don't eat fried chicken. Everybody eats fried chicken. The Koreans do fried chicken amazing. Don't talk to me about black people love fried chicken. Everybody loves fried chicken.
I'm just saying, man. You're gonna start doing all types of stuff like they was when they were selling crack to get some money to get eggs.
To get some eggs.
That's what I thought. I saw a story that like the Costco got wiped out of eggs. Like people was pushing dollies of pallets of eggs. I said, where you going with all these eggs on the block? Like what's about to happen here?
For real, man.
With our new community movement builders farm where we got chickens.
Hey,
they lay in eggs.
Oh shit.
Well, see, that's that more natural, and making sure you can see what they're fed and everything. That's the way to go. I get it.
I think CMOS, wait till I start the egg co-op. I'm gonna sell a single egg for $45 and shit.
Hey, can I shout out a black farm real quick that I see on TikTok? This black TikTok creator operates blackbirdfarms.com out of, I think, Westmoreland County, Virginia. And he said they will deliver eggs to you fresh off the farm fresh eggs. So support our black farmers out here.
better get some of that scrambled tofu, some of them mung beans, and stop.
Nigga.
See,
Yeah,
y'all.
But what do y'all? How do y'all make sweets? How do you make cake and shit with no eggs? Like, what do you? So, what's the substitution? What's the vegan substitution for eggs in baked goods?
For some it's flax seeds. For some it's you got some of the stuff I use. Huh?
Chickpea water.
Yeah, yeah. Same with like mung beans and stuff like that. There's different things you could use that gives you that consistency you need to fry stuff. If you need to fry it.
Not fry, bake. I'm talking about in baked goods.
Bake. Okay, yeah. To bake flax seeds, yeah. So that's the thing, how your face is like that. You see how the white man got you conditioned? The white man got you conditioned to not like stuff and just not even taste it and already fix your face.
Our human evolution has got me conditioned to eat animal protein. Okay, this is how we survived as a species consuming animal proteins. Okay, we are not brontosauruses, my nigga.
Okay, well, when you control your farm and you know how your food is being done, then you can talk that shit. But while you still getting it from Whole Food, Kroger, Acme, let me take you back. Exactly.
Keep food.
Hey, well, you dependent on the white man. So with that said, let's go ahead. I'd fix your face because it's true. Let's take a real quick break and come back. We got over 500 people watching us live, so big up to everybody out there tuning in.
Appreciate y'all.
Take a real quick break. We got about 15 or so minutes left. Let's do it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
All right.
Hit y'all with a bit of that Fela Kuti. Welcome. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and get footage that's rare. Yes, you can donate, as you see at the bottom of the screen, blkliberationmedia.org. And we very much appreciate it because that is how we keep this thing going. All right, boom. So check this out. So I brought this record player over here. My son came and bought me some vinyl. And this right here is Fela. This is a song called Gentleman. You know what I mean? So it rocks out right here. But let me tell you a little bit about Fela in this song, Gentleman. All right, boom. So Fela, born 1938, transitioned in 1997, was a Nigerian musician, producer, arranger, political radical outlaw, and originator of Afrobeat. Musical voice legacy spans decades through genres touching jazz, pop, funk, hip-hop, rock, and beyond. Now, Fela's revolutionary politics brought him into violent conflict with Nigerian military regimes, which made many attempts to suppress him and once sent in the army to burn down the communal home, Kalakuta Republic. That's right. That's where I believe his mom actually got caught up in the fire and died. Fela, he refused to be silenced. He rebuilt this Kalakuta, and he rebuilt his Lagos club and the African shrine. He continued to make fierce and supremely danceable music until a few weeks before his passing in 1997. Fela's legacy lives on through Femi, his son, and his other sons, which lead the Egypt 80, and his daughter Yeni, who is the prime mover behind the building of the Kalakunta Museum in the new African shrine. So big up to Fela, big up to his family, and big up to good music, and big up to my son for buying me this vinyl right here. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah.
Fela. Is that the first time we profiled Fela? I can't
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Damn, we've been doing this we about to go on 4 years, y'all. Remix Morning Show, giving it
Lies.
to you. I know, right?
Give us more money. Give us more money. It's hardship.
Waking up every week to give y'all some news and putting our time on the line for y'all.
True. In other words, give us money. What's going on?
Exactly. You know what I missed out on today? Today I was supposed to. I got a ticket because my registration. I forgot. You know, when your birthday comes, you got to get the whole tag thing. So I forgot to do that. So I got pulled over.
Your birthday?
Yeah, that's when you got to renew your tags.
Yeah.
Really?
So
yeah, every year.
Oh, you don't drive
here in Georgia, at least.
First of all, nigga, I did drive for a long time, so let's get that straight, okay? I'm
saying you're not driving now, so
but I've never heard of such a thing that you have to get your car registered on your birthday. Like that's a license thing. Anyway, go continue. I'm sorry, because y'all live in a red state. Y'all do things different.
So boom, I could have went to court today with my registration and showed them that, and probably could have walked out without having to pay a fine. But instead of driving damn near 2 hours, missing the Remix Morning Show, what did I do? I paid the fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
Whole $175.
God damn, $175. Oh hell no, nigga! I would have went to court. We would have went to court.
It's not getting reimbursed. Just to let you
know.
So
with that said, all our remixes in there, you know, show your love. Show your love. I'm not asking too much, you know.
Tell me why was you riding dirty again? Like I'm confused. You know your birthday was coming up. Like what happened?
People forget all the time.
You forget. Like damn, I gotta go do.
Or they do a little late. You just forget, and then you like, you know, you don't remember until they pull you over.
Exactly.
But you can't do this like online. Like you literally have to go in to take care of it.
You can actually go to the grocery store, the Kroger's.
These days they make it a little easier, but a lot of people still go. I mean, our spot is like about, I don't know, like 2 minutes away. So usually I drive down and just spend the day doing it or whatever.
A day? Jesus.
So, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, we got what's this going on? Airbender starting stuff. Kalanji threw more shots at BML media crew early this morning.
We still on his mind.
I'm saying, ain't that cute?
That's what
I really forgot. Like I'm so moved forward.
Can't say his name 3 times. This nigga will appear behind you. Like, cut it out.
Still on the mind.
I didn't even know they were still having a show, but all right, cool.
Look at these turncoats in the remix. Wait, what y'all gotta pick a side? Y'all can't be fucking looking over there and then looking over here. Y'all niggas gotta choose. Decisions must be made, remixers. We don't do that double agent shit. Either you with us or you against us. Which one is it?
Choose sides.
You with us or against us? None of that double dipping.
But I'll just say this: if it's a good message, it ain't always about the messages sometimes. So hopefully, people are putting out some radical news and talking about it from a good perspective. Listen, you gotta live in love. You gotta live in love.
Look at you. Word. You must have had some tofu this morning.
I had something this weekend. All right, catch y'all later.
No. Stay. The last story I wanted to do, if y'all cool with it, like we talked about the flag, the guy with the flag.
Yes.
So apparently there's some news story where they're accusing this dude of all kinds of things, and I think it's hilarious. So I wanted to share that. All right, it'll be short. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
A man with a Palestinian and Sudanese flag got onto the Caesars Superdome field during the Super Bowl, interrupting Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. The man seen waving the flag and then running around before ultimately being tackled by security. The NFL released a statement after it said, "We commend security for quickly detaining the individual who displayed the flag. He was part of the 400-member field cast. The individual apparently hid the item on him and then unveiled it late in the show. No one involved with the production was aware of the individual's intent. The league also said that individual will be banned for life from all NFL stadiums and events."
I'm sure.
Okay, that's the second story. All right, my bad. Still, it was a good story. I thought they were trying to make accusations about this dude.
But he's an organizer, New Orleans-based organizer, right?
Yes. Oh, I haven't read a lot about him. Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
He has a YouTube channel. It's called Open Book something. Is it open? Chad, you guys have heard the story. I don't know. I can't pronounce the brother's name because I'm not looking at it. But yeah, he's a New Orleans-based organizer. Young man in his early 40s, also a Muslim. also, said he was doing this for Muslims, you know what I'm saying, that are being persecuted and slaughtered in Sudan and Palestine. He's, also said that the organizers at Kendrick and everybody else did not know that he was planning on doing this, and very surreptitiously, was rehearsing with the crew for 2 weeks and had just knew in his head that he was going to do this protest.
That is real cool. I mean, that's some dedication there to find that out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. And he stuck it through for 2 weeks to do all that. So he can, and he stole the show. I mean, it went viral on social media. My understanding is that he was released without being charged.
Correct. Yes.
So that's good. So he can get back. But that's now part of at least in a lot of social media terrain, that was the dominant thing that got out. Like, hey, this person protested and did risk a lot.
It's even on our thumbnail, actually.
Yeah, good.
For people who don't understand the thumbnails I put up. So Tuesdays is about national news. Wednesday is about international news. Thursday, we have a thumbnail that dedicates to musicians, and Friday is dedicated to athletes. So,
look at the methodologies.
No one told me shit. I had no idea.
I just told y'all.
And I mean, this is a rumor that's spreading, so I'm just announcing it. Maybe in the chat, y'all can give us a final vote. My man J-Rod is talking about whether or not we can also do a remix morning show on Mondays. So maybe moving his time slot and making that another remix morning show. As y'all know, Jared has had trouble coming on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because of scheduling, and his daughter's what's the thing when she gets the
physical
surgery,
therapy.
physical therapy.
Physical therapy. So some of that may get switched, but he's also talking about maybe we might go 5 days a week. How would y'all like it if we went 5 days a week? Would that be good? Just checking.
Y'all, the audience, or y'all?
No, not you guys. No, I don't want your opinion. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. No. I was asking the audience, hoping if they call for it, people might feel compelled to be like, well, maybe it's a good idea. I don't want your opinions on it at all. No.
Yeah, you already know mine. 3 days a week for me. I give y'all Tuesday to Thursday all day. I'm right here.
You don't give your opinion anyway.
We gonna be adding more work days. No, the demonetization. I'm like, wait a minute. That ratio, that work, the demonetization.
Math ain't mathing. That math is not mathing.
Would you be available for a Monday come out?
I might do a Monday if it's available. If I'm not, my mornings are usually mine. And I feel like at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm certainly not hard at whatever else I need to do. I probably start after
you want to say pause so bad, Kim.
You know what?
But the kids be at school, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all got flexible schedules over there.
Oh my God. So yeah. So I don't know. I would make a way to try to do maybe some Mondays, whatever. And I miss all of it, like when it was Kim, me and Jared and you, like I miss a little bit of that. I think that had a particular flavor to it too. So yeah.
We was Lisa and Colt Jam. We was
Hey, we still hitting 500 right now. We still hitting the 500 mark on Tuesday.
Oh no, definitely.
Ooh, Caseta. That's what we should do for Halloween. We should be Lisa and Colt Jam.
I'm down.
I need to see wave nouveaux and headbands, my nigga, dangling earrings or the one ear, gentlemen.
I can't take the Jerry curl juice though.
Tank tops, snug sweats.
I'd rather be Diggable Planets. Can we do that instead?
Oh, okay. Well, that's keeping it more hip hop, obviously. But I'm sorry.
You gotta do drugs? I don't know.
Diggable Planets ain't do nothing but nickel bags.
Nickelback.
No, I thought the whole story was the sis was on something heavier, and that was part of the breakup. No.
Oh no. Well, I don't.
Is that the lore? I heard that.
No.
Is that accurate? Diggable Planets biographers in the chat.
Yeah, I know y'all going back. Yeah, I think that's true.
That's the lore. I don't know about that. I learn some new words with y'all every day. I love it. All right,
Ladybug. Ladybug was doing some stuff.
Was she?
That's what I heard. Somebody confirm or deny. Somebody let me know for sure. I know more about hip hop than all of y'all. Yeah, I know that's true.
All right, so we got about 5 minutes or so left. What y'all want to do? Y'all got any other story to
I
end
think
this
about
off?
a couple things. I mean, nothing is urgent. Obviously, everything is burning and falling apart. So I don't know.
It is. There's a lot going on, man.
I don't know. I'm plotting the escape. Everybody got their exit papers together. Everybody got their passports. Go get your passport
mine.
if you haven't already. Because who the fuck knows what's going on with the government? You know, now he gonna be like Chaz Palminteri in A Bronx Tale. Now ye's can't leave. I be like, oh shit.
Yeah, you gotta at least get what is it, dual citizenship somewhere else.
Well,
I'm
you at least
torn though, because what we're gonna do? We're gonna leave these white supremacists with all these nuclear weapons, with all this military, all these arms, just go invade us wherever we're at. You know what I mean? Like we're still in the belly of the beast. There's things that we can do and accomplish. I know, about the possibilities, but most of our population will not be able to move. They will not be able to leave this place. So they're going to be suffering. And y'all need to be here as truth tellers, as organizers, as speakers, as ralliers, as everything else on the planet to keep our folks going. So that is what makes me feel like we can't just dip just because we got a little bit of means to do so or a little know-how about how to do so. We got to be here for the fight because this fight is going to be wherever you go.
Kim is like, bruh.
I'm just saying.
I inspired Kim. She's staying.
I mean, again, I need more global history knowledge, but because we overknow the story of the Holocaust and the lead up to the Holocaust, like no.
We overknow the story of U.S. invasions and bomb dropping on innocent people, no matter where they are. We know the story that, again, unless we're going to just go away and be quiet, even if you go someplace else and you make some noise, we know the stories about infiltrating governments and having those governments kidnap people, put them in prison, murder them. So it's not like you get to escape because you've escaped the United States. You still will be vulnerable. If you did burn it down, Kim Brown, from some other place, you still would be vulnerable if your message began to reach people and people started to respond in ways that they did not like.
So how much longer on YouTube, yo?
Yes.
Another 10 years on YouTube before.
But I wouldn't be down the street from Trump. You feel me? Like I'm too close. You know what I'm saying? Like these niggas can hop on the green line and they be in my house in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Mad close.
You know what I'm saying? And like we're gonna have to slug it out on these American soil. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a fight, like an actual fight. Like with blood and shit. And not to say it's not going to be bloody elsewhere. But I feel like all of America's fuckery that it has been putting out in the world for the past 75 years is about to revisit the homeland specifically. You know what I mean? Like the country, it's just had it coming for too long. Yeah. Overdue.
Hey, no, I agree.
Here's a question out the iManifesto says, why is BLM still demonetized? Good question, but I'm thinking this might be a good thing. We're able to say and get away with some things without, corporate entities trying to play their commercials and finding out what we're talking about and doing. So that's why we need your support on Patreon. That's why we need your support on blkliberationmedia.org. So donate.
So once they demonetized us, they promised us that we had the 90-day suspension. We've had other suspensions, but we had the 90-day suspension. And then we were supposed to be allowed to be, but they decided at the time of the suspension, like, you know what? No, this permanent demonetization. And, since then, you're right. Like the corporate overlords have not suspended us again or bothered us. And our rhetoric of obviously has not cooled down. But at this particular stage, they have not. But we've had to seek other ways in which to bring resources in to help support folks who are doing this, to support all the tools that it takes, to pay for all the tools that it takes to get this on air and rocking. So, yeah.
That's it. All right. So another great show, y'all.
But they have bothered us, by the way. They have snatched down several of Ear Doctors and I's classical breakdowns.
But that's because of copyright. That's not because of political content. So
yeah, it's because of copyright. So y'all can go check
I
that
don't
out.
know what the reason is, Kamau. You don't know what the reason is. It was too political. Our LaBelle. It was
too political.
They snatched the bell down?
Yeah. So we're gonna have to put it on Patreon.
Oh, let's put that on Patreon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send that to you.
I know, but that's what y'all keep threatening to do that. And
Okay, I just been busy. All right. So I gotta
How many episodes have now been snatched?
I want to say 4.
3 or 4. Yeah.
3 or 4? And none of them have been put on Patreon yet?
Mm-mm.
Send me all of them. I'll put them all up, y'all.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look
Know
at
what I'm
Kamau
saying?
Franklin coming through saving the day. So Patreon members, go ahead and be one.
Mhm.
All right. I'm a Patreon member. I'm not just a member. I'm also an owner. So come on, stop playing. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get up out of here. Kim, you got anything coming up?
Yep, I got my show tonight on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. I want to take a look at the Mexicans are boycotting Coca-Cola. In fact, most of Latin America is boycotting Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola allegedly called ICE on some of its undocumented workers here in the States. And the Latins is like, bet, nigga, Pepsi, nigga, now what? So anyway, I find that interesting. I just like some of the different responses to some of the fuckery that we're seeing around the world. People are responding.
Okay. And May 30th coming up is?
May 30th is the Black Radical Organizing Conference taking place in Indianapolis. We want folks to remember, and thank you for that, people to get their tickets. We're about to put out the hotels, so folks can also at the same time start booking their hotels. We are getting discount rates for those who are coming in. We know people are driving in, flying in, and there's going to be a big uptick in ticket sales. So please, you should go out now and get them. We're going to be releasing the schedule in probably another 20 days. And so look out for that. We will be releasing the conference statement or the call to conference, why we are doing this. I mean, you already know why, but people like to have it written down for them. So why we are doing this, what we hope to get out of this. Again, we're trying to get upwards of 400 to 500 people in one spot at the same time to talk about not only where we're at, but what we need to do. So what is to be done? That's our role. Indianapolis, May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. Make time, come on out and be there.
All right, there it is. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Peace, y'all.